You would prefer the human race to endure, right? You're hesitating.
Yeah, well,
yes?
I don't know. I would.
This is a long hesitation.
Some of the richest, most powerful men in Silicon Valley are planning for a future where they survive and the rest of us don't.
Hi everyone, JJ here. Welcome back to the John Johnston Lounge. Well, today we have, as you saw, Taylor Lorenz talking about things that I have talked about before. That, of course, was Peter Thiel questioning really or hesitating about whether the human race should survive. Now, these Silicon Valley billionaires do have some philosophies that really go pretty deep that not many people are talking about. She's produced this video that's an hour long that goes in depth into it. I'm just going to react to some of it today, and I'm going to provide a link in the description. I have reacted to Taylor just recently in a video. I think she's been on fire lately. Really good content, a tech journalist. And this one, I can tell she's been working on it for a long time. Let's get into what else she's saying here. I picked out some select bits to get a gist of the whole thing. So let's go.
You've probably heard about billionaires buying up luxury bunkers in New Zealand, pouring money into plans to escape the earth, and investing in technology that might one day allow them to upload their minds to the cloud. But what you might not know are the actual reasons behind why they're doing all of this. Tech billionaires have been selling the public on their vision of a tech-forward future for decades now. They've promised endless innovation and progress, and they want you to believe that if you embrace all their crappy AI startups, delivery apps, and humanoid robots, the world will look something like this. But their real plan for society is something much, much darker and more sinister. The reality is that these Silicon Valley billionaires are building towards a future where the human race does not exist. And I'm not being hyperbolic. They are building for a future where the human race itself is replaced by robots and digitally conscious beings that exist without a body.
You might have heard something about this, Elon Musk talking about it, some other tech billionaires talking about it. Peter Thiel there was talking about transhumanism, not transgender, but transhumanism, replacing body parts, merging with, cyber beings, which seems like science fiction, but these guys really do believe that. They really do believe that it's going to happen soon. And of course, they want the benefit for themselves, and they really don't care about us, what happens to us. In fact, there's this human extinction thing that Peter Thiel was alluding to there that the interviewer didn't really know what he was talking about, but this is what it is all about.
These tech billionaires are pro-extinction of the human race, except for them, of course. They will continue to live in luxury. And this is not just some fringe sci-fi ideology thing in San Francisco. Billionaires, CEOs, and the most powerful venture capitalists today want to create a world where biological humans are obsolete. It's actually so insane. And I don't see anyone else really on YouTube talking about it.
Well, there are a few people, including me, and I'll show you in a minute. So I'll show you two of the people that are talking about it, or not two people, two channels that are talking about it on YouTube in particular.
So today we're going to dive into how pro-extinctionism took hold in Silicon Valley, the core ideologies underpinning it all, how powerful people are already investing in and building the technology to manifest this dystopian reality, and what these billionaires have planned for the rest of us when they all ascend to their higher AI consciousness and leave us to suffer and die.
This goes into it in depth, really a history of Silicon Valley and how this kind of philosophy developed. Going back decades, it's not just a new thing. This has been building for a long time, but you would only know about it if you're really in the weeds of this kind of stuff. And speaking of that, she said that nobody's talking about it. Well, there are a few. Gil Duran, the Nerd Reich with Gil Duran, who I have pointed to on a number of occasions and reacted to his interviews and content. Really good. So he is well onto it as well, another journalist. And also this one, relatively new on YouTube, but they've had an audio podcast elsewhere, and I'm glad that they're on YouTube now doing video, Dystopian Now. And Taylor talks about one of these people, Emil, who really studies this stuff.
Back to these tech billionaires and their quest to make human beings extinct. I think one thing that is so insidious and awful is how these Silicon Valley billionaires are actually trying to redefine the word humanity itself. You can already see how, just in the past few years, tech elites have completely changed the way that they talk about this word, humanity. Because when Silicon Valley billionaires are talking about preserving humanity or protecting humanity, etc., you might think that they're talking about humans. That would be like a normal assumption, right? But they're not. They're not talking about humanity in the way that you or I might think of it. They're using this new broad definition of humanity, where humanity no longer means us biological human beings that walk the earth. Instead, their new definition of humanity includes any future beings or digital minds or non-biological superintelligence that human beings create, as long as those creations have certain intellectual capacities.
So this is what Peter Thiel, this is what his hesitation was about. He, in the back of his mind or in the front of his mind, he was thinking about all this. That's why he couldn't answer the question, because this is really what it's about.
So basically, if an AI is smart enough, these tech people count it as human. This shift allows them to say, without technically lying, that they want to prevent humanity's extinction, even if they believe that our actual species of human beings should die off.
This is where they don't care about you. They don't care about me. They just want this new kind of humanity that, is merged with technology. And of course, they, as the wealthiest tech billionaires, they want to kind of use us. They want to experiment with their AI and things and get there, but really to benefit them and to make an exit, which we'll get into.
Redefinition of the word humanity is one of the central reasons that pro-extinctionist beliefs can spread so easily without being recognized for what they are. To an outsider, it sounds like Silicon Valley leaders are trying to protect humanity. They're talking about that, right? But they're actually not talking about us Homo sapiens at all. This language shift is already shaping how AI safety and governance is discussed in Silicon Valley. When groups warn about existential risks to humanity, they're often not talking about biological humans. They're often talking about the loss of potential future AI civilizations. This redefining of the word humanity is so important to point out, because I think people need to start paying closer attention to these subtle language shifts. That way, when we, especially reporters, are questioning these tech leaders about humanity, we can ask them, hold up, do you mean physical, human, like flesh and blood human beings? Or are you talking about humanity in the context of future AI beings? By expanding the definition of humanity to include machines, long-termists can claim that they're opposed to human extinction while they fully support the extinction of biological humans.
Okay, we talk about long-termism. You might hear this term brought up with these tech billionaires in interviews. Someone like Jeff Bezos is really into this. You might have heard about his clock that is very long-term that he's building or built. I think he might have already built it. But the idea is that they're thinking very long-term and are thinking about the life, the tech life, the robotic life, the AI life, way, way into the future, which gets them out of really thinking about, charity and things here on earth and preserving life here and people today. They really don't care about it. And this is kind of their excuse. We're thinking long term about the trillions of people or beings that will exist in the future. That's really part of long-termism. I mean, there's a lot of other aspects to this, which I'm not going to go into, but that's kind of the basics that we're just getting into today.
When one of these billionaires is like, we must protect the future of humanity, what they often mean is we must ensure that an AI successor civilization exists. This kind of linguistic maneuvering allows pro-extinction ideas to be smuggled into mainstream discussions about AI policy, ethics, and safety. Because again, normal people aren't going to understand this tech billionaire AI-pilled weirdo double meaning. I'll give you a specific example of this. Elon Musk, just a couple...
friend Elon Musk. So the language that he talks about, which I've made videos about, what she's going to talk about here, where he does sneak it into his language, but perhaps he means something else about money being irrelevant and caring for humanity, right? It's not exactly what he means. He does not care. Even, you can tell from his tweets, he doesn't care about humanity, although he pretends to. It's just about what he wants, and more far right.
Couple months ago was on stage in Saudi Arabia talking about the future of humanity. And he said that in the future, work will be optional and there'll be no need for money.
Yeah, he's talked about a high basic income, but really he's thinking about his army of robots that he wants to influence or control. He's talked about that on an earnings call even.
Now, he's saying that not because us humans will no longer need jobs to live, but because the world that he envisions will be dominated by AI robots who don't have to abide by the concepts of jobs and don't require money to live. Just recently, Elon Musk said that he hopes to create a form of immortality with Neuralink, where a saved version of himself can be uploaded to a humanoid robot. He's also building an army of humanoid Tesla robots himself. This is not a man who is interested in the future of actual human beings and the human race. Meanwhile, other prominent thinkers in the tech world, like Derek Schiller, who works for Rethink Priorities, a pro-extinction organization that's received a ton of money from billionaires like Facebook co-founder Dustin Moskovitz, are saying the quiet part out loud. Schiller recently wrote that, quote, "We should engineer our extinction so that our planet's resources can be devoted to making artificial creatures with better lives."
That really says it all, and that's what they're thinking there. They're just going to not say this out loud too much. They do say it in podcasts, in chats and articles between themselves and with Silicon Valley and the tech community, but not kind of mainstream. And it needs to get out there. This kind of stuff that they're into really needs to get out there. Okay, let's move on. Involved in the AI arms race section.
Our human extinction is rapidly becoming the expected trajectory of technological growth. In recent years, you can see that this pro-extinction mindset is becoming more and more pervasive, not just in what Silicon Valley elites are saying and talking about, but also what they are doing with the most powerful technologies on Earth. The idea that human beings are temporary and that the real priority is the future AI superintelligence shows up in all of these endless ways that these big tech companies take risks and treat AI safety as an afterthought. All they care about is staying one step ahead in the AI arms race.
And you can tell Elon Musk with what's happening with AI, which is what the last video with Taylor in it that I made was about Grok sort of going haywire or doing things with really no safety guidelines. He really does not care about any guardrails for AI, and others don't really either, or some more than others, but it seems that OpenAI and XAI really don't. They're just locked into this arms race to get to this goal that they want, which is AGI, artificial general intelligence, and this kind of future that they see, which doesn't really involve us.
And you can see, based on how irresponsibly many of these companies are operating, that the founders and executives are already acting like the survival and well-being of ordinary human beings is significantly less important than the goal of rapidly scaling AI. Take OpenAI, a company that began as a nonprofit with the stated goal of keeping AI safe for humanity. Once again, that word, humanity. In 2023, the company announced a dedicated super alignment team tasked specifically with making sure that future superintelligence systems couldn't go rogue and destroy all of us. Less than a year later, that entire team was dissolved. The whole group focused on long-term existential risk, either quit or was absorbed into other teams. I think that if you really wanted to preserve and protect the human race and you were one of the most powerful AI companies on Earth, you might not want to disband your entire existential risk team in the middle of an AGI arms race.
Exactly. And she goes on to talk about Elon Musk and XAI with all of the things that have been going wrong with that. Elon would say it's not going wrong, but you can probably think of some of the things that have already happened there with Mecha Hitler and with the AI undressing people.
What I think is so fucked up about all of this, though, is that while these billionaires are using AI to wipe out our jobs and destabilize society, they're also ensuring that they personally don't have to endure any discomfort during humanity's collapse. Because again, these billionaires don't see themselves as part of broader humanity. They're so AI and eugenics pilled that they already believe that because of their massive amounts of wealth, they are superior beings.
Okay, so this is about the bunker boys, as it's been said before. I like that term, the bunker boys, building these luxury bunkers and kind of escaping to these bunkers just in case it goes wrong, it doesn't go right. And of course, Elon's talking about Mars and Jeff Bezos in space, so that they think that they can escape Earth or want to escape Earth. And if they can't upload themselves to AI, maybe they can still do that when the world falls apart, but they're safe in their bunkers. As she mentioned at the beginning there, Peter Thiel, with a place in New Zealand as an escape route, and Mark Zuckerberg, Hawaii Island, and others too. Sam Altman has said this too. The bunker boys are preparing for an exit, either the exit that they want or one that's not so good, where they can get away. Maybe if the pitchforks are coming as well, because that's one of their biggest concerns, right? If people rise up, the wealth disparity is just absolutely huge. So that is a concern for them, right? And that's why I think that they PR so much about, humanity, and Elon talks about caring for humanity, but it's pretty obvious these guys really don't care.
And they're reshaping their lives right now as if they already belong to another category of person by separating themselves from the masses. One of the most telling developments in this worldview is the degree to which billionaires have begun purchasing extreme privacy and physical isolation. A recent Wall Street Journal investigation reported that wealthy founders are paying enormous sums for hyper-privacy services, including homes with private tunnels, underground escape routes, and land purchases designed to ensure that no neighbors or anyone living around can see and reach them. According to the Wall Street Journal, these services cost millions of dollars a year and have become a booming industry for billionaires who want to shield themselves from the societal, political, and environmental instability they know is coming as a result of their technology. The Journal reported that one tech founder paid for a mile-long private road and security perimeter so extensive that even the local government could not easily access the land. Another visible example of this belief system can be seen in the billionaire bunker boom. For the past several years, bunker building companies like Rising S and Vivos have reported record sales of underground shelters to tech executives, crypto founders, and hedge fund managers preparing for what they often refer to as the event. The event is this vague catch-all term for societal breakdown, economic collapse, and global technological shock, thanks to the rise of AI.
When the singularity comes, they talk about this tech singularity, with the point where AI becomes more intelligent than humans, not just more intelligent than one human, but more intelligent than all humans put together. Nobody really knows what will happen. They have a plan there to do what they want, right? To rise above everybody else and to use this technology, but nobody really knows. So this event is the point where nobody really knows, but they are, as she said, preparing for this in different ways for themselves, not for you, not for me, just for themselves.
A 2018 piece in The New Yorker described how billionaires asked detailed questions about controlling private security forces, quote, after the event. Some of these bunkers are built 11 stories underground and stocked with gyms, hydroponic farms, armories, and luxury theaters, so that Silicon Valley elites are comfortable while they wait out societal collapse, isolated from the rest of us.
Who's going to work for them there? Are they going to have robots? I mean, they need an army of people to service this, right? It just kind of doesn't make sense. I'm sure they've thought of it. I'll say it's in New Zealand, right? Peter Thiel in New Zealand is going to get on his private jet, with staff, with helpers, I suppose, and come here. But he's having trouble with the regulations in building that place. So I think he might have moved on and thinking about somewhere else now. I don't know. I saw him kind of say that in an interview recently. He wasn't sure where he might go.
Aside from their bunkers, tech venture capitalist Tim Draper and billionaire Peter Thiel have been grabbing up land in isolated places. A 2025 report described how Thiel attempted to build a sprawling bunker-style shelter on New Zealand's South Island. He already holds New Zealand citizenship, owns a significant amount of land there, and has publicly spoken of his escape scenarios. Mark Zuckerberg has constructed a 1,400-acre Kauai compound that has a complete underground storm shelter beneath the main residence. It also has tunnels linking his mansions and a perimeter of advanced security cameras.
So you can tell this is real. This is not just made up, right? These people are doing this. They're preparing for something, right? This doomsday scenario. And, maybe they've looked in history. They know a bit of history and they know what's happened when wealth disparities become so big. Okay, so what to do about this? I mean, it's all pretty depressing, isn't it? All very dystopian. Taylor at the end here has some suggestions as well. I'm not going to give it all away, but as I said, this is really worth watching the whole thing. And this is some of what she says at the end here with a bit of hope for us, not just for them.
So after all of this, I think the obvious question is, okay, what do we do about all this? Because if these billionaires are all building this future where biological humanity is just temporary and soon these super intelligent AI robots are going to take over, what can we even do to stop it? I would argue quite a lot. First of all, we're not powerless. Ordinary people are consistently told that we're powerless and that technological progress in a certain direction is inevitable, but it's really not. I can promise you, as somebody that's a tech reporter and covered this industry for 15 years, I promise a lot of this stuff is not inevitable. There are tons of examples from history where people organized and collectively resisted some miserable future that elites in their society wanted to impose on them. But to do that, we cannot fall for the moral panic bullshit about tech and allow people in power to leverage our collective justified outrage at the tech industry to further entrench its power.
Okay. As I said, I'm going to encourage you to go and see what she says, but I agree with her there. You know, things can be done. You can see Elon Musk has bought the social media company. I don't think he quite knew what he was going to do with it to begin with, but really he is using that as propaganda for this kind of thing and to kind of control the public, which is kind of working in a certain way, although a lot of people and a lot of people that watch my videos don't like X and aren't on there. It's incredibly right wing. He is promoting his agenda, his propaganda, his voice is on there and sycophants. And so this is a way for him to really PR this, to spin this the way that he wants to and other tech billionaires do. Although, you know, he's friends with them and enemies with some. Sam Altman is in this AI race with Sam Altman and OpenAI. But really, all of these guys pretty much want the same thing or similar things, the same goals, and they're the ones that are going to be, maybe they'll be fighting each other once they're in their luxury bunkers, right? But they do have a kind of a common goal here, and there are things that we can do about it. And so I encourage you to see Taylor's videos and the Nerd Right, Gil Duran, and Dystopian Hours. If you're really interested in this stuff, you want to find out more, and of course, keep watching my videos because I'm going to keep on this too. And I'm glad that Taylor did this video, and she's been doing it for a long time. Anyway, right now I'm going to put a related link on screen. Do go and see that now if you want to. That's on YouTube. We're on Spotify video as well. Follow over there on Spotify to get my videos and Taylor's videos. She's on the tech podcast charts on Spotify as well, as am I. Also, I'm going to put a subscribe link on screen on YouTube. And thanks for watching this one, and I'll see you in the next one.